It's time now for Carter's Corner. Everything Bay Area sports on the Northern California Sports and Entertainment Network. Here is your host, Carter Kim.
We back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Carter's Corner. I am Carter Kim here on Northern Lights Entertainment, Sports and Entertainment. Johnny was right. I'm just going to say that for the record. Johnny was right. A lot of you guys were right about Walker Buehler doing well. He actually did do okay for the most part. He didn't actually pitch that long, but he had some good innings. Yeah, we are looking at a tough series between the Mets and the Dodgers right now. But right now, up on my screen over here, I am watching the Guardians versus the Yankees. And that is another series. Later today, Yamamoto will pitch against Quintana at Citi Field. There are going to be some tough games ahead of us this playoffs, but we are looking at something fun happening out there at Citi. And Kyle Manzardo hits a nuke into the right field, and it is gone. And the Guardians take the lead over Clark Schmidt and the Yankees. What a hit from Kyle Manzardo. Just an absolute nuke of a hit. Didn't even look, not a no doubter, at least. I mean, that is just, yeah, that's a tough one to beat. Well, there you go. I mean, that's a crazy, crazy hit. I mean, I don't even know how you can get past that. Clark Schmidt, I think, hung him a fastball. Good velocity, too, but he just swung right through it, and it was a nuke into right field. That's not even mildly close. I mean, now Jose Ramirez is up in the box. Man, all right. Jose Trevino going out to talk to Clark Schmidt. I mean, yeah, you want to talk to your guy after that one. That is hilariously unlucky, in my opinion. 2 balls against Jose Ramirez. Yeah, that was a no-doubter. I mean, not even. Andres Jimenez must have called it because a lot of his teammates are mobbing him as well. I mean, all right, I think today is actually going to be a shorter stream or a shorter little show because today I have to go check the mail because the office closes around 4 o'clock and I can't stay here forever. But I think it's going to be a bit of a shorter one today because I have something to do and I also have a lot of work to attend to right now. But it's been great. Oh, yeah, it's been delivered. There you go. Wonder if I can sneak out and get it really quick. I mean, to be fair, no one's watching right now. All right, apparently it's been delivered. Okay, I'm gonna. Jeez, I really want to go get it right now, but okay, I'm gonna run and go get it, y'all. I'm gonna run and go get it. Wish I had something for you guys to just do right now. Maybe I'll just run something. Not entirely sure, but you know what? I'll put up the Yankees and the score for you guys right now. Hold on. All right, there we go. All right, I'll be back really quickly. Give me a minute. I'm so sorry. I'm back. Sorry, Johnny. And you were right, by the way. You were very right. You were actually spot on, Johnny, about the entire prediction about Bueller. He's back and he's doing great and doing better. Sorry, just a package got here, and the mail in the office was about to close, so I could not miss it. All right. Terribly sorry. Yeah, you were on the dot. Luis Severino, we were kind of right about him too. He was a little sporadic and out of control. He didn't have a lot of stuff in under his control, but hey, I got a hat today, which was cool. What y'all think? What y'all think? Gotta do a little bit of bending and stuff with this, but yeah, here you go. It's got everything going for it. I mean, man, I had to make a mad dash back here. Yeah, I got to do a little bending of this cap, make sure it doesn't have a weird looking brim. Maybe I'll wear this for the rest of the stream. Can't lie, it looks a little, yeah, definitely old school for sure. Gotta make sure that's like bent a little bit and I break it in, but yeah, here we go. Okay, now I'll stop sharing that screen. But anyway, later today we have the matchup that Johnny's a little more confident about, which is Yamamoto versus Quintana. Right now we have the game between the Yankees and the Guardians, where we just saw a massive tank by what's his name, Kyle Manzardo. It was a heck of a hit. But yeah, Jose Ramirez is also on base. I mean, whew, man. Just trying to make sure that this hat is all good looking and everything else. I mean, here you go. Careful with hats nowadays. Some brims are cardboard instead of plastic. When you bend them, they will crease. I mean, I had a problem. I was washing my Giants hat, this one right here, and I was worried that the brim was going to get all out of whack, but it ended up being okay, as you can see. But I like washed the brim with water, which is something I was worried about, and it ended up being okay because I let it drip dry. But yeah, you got to be really careful with your hats because these are some nice hats. And I definitely don't want to like mess up my New Era hats. But yeah. Anyway, on to everything else. I mean, yeah, right now, he just swings through a nice cutter at the top of the zone. Lane Thomas versus Clark Schmidt. 1-2 count, one man on second. 2-1, bottom of the third in favor of the Guardians. I mean, heck of a day. Heck of a way to start the day. Great pitch, sweeper out of the way, outside the zone. I mean, yeah. But I'm going to be careful about this hat because it looks really nice. Does it kind of have my look? It just has like the black with like the orange or yellow finish. Just something a little more simple. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, definitely like it. But yeah, I got to get it broken in a little bit. Make sure that it's all, you know. But yeah. Whew. And speaking of which, basketball is about to be back too, so that's going to be fun. But yeah. Man. All right, ground out to the shortstop Volpe. He makes a throw, and he is out. Francisco Alvarez sure didn't help the Mets yesterday. Such a low IQ move going to second with the ball instead of getting it out. And all his at-bats were completely useless. Yeah, he struck out 3 times in 3 at-bats. I mean, you can't strike out 3 times in 3 at-bats. What a throw by Anthony Volpe. And he's easily got him out. But yeah, just a definitely not a smart thing that he was doing. He needed to be better. I mean, Frankie, I like the dude a lot, Francisco Alvarez, but He's got to be better than that. I mean, like, you cannot let the game get away from you. The whole point of your catcher is that he's the quarterback for the defense, and you really need that guy to be able to control everything and keep it calm. And if your catcher is not in a good spot, then why the heck should the other fielders be? And on top of that, the pitchers, Severino had a decent game, but let's keep it real. He got way too sporadic. He walked 4 people. Cade with the bases loaded too. I mean, there you go. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how this next game goes in Flushing, but I think it's going to be an interesting game because Quintana is going to be on the mound against Yamamoto, and Yamamoto had a good last outing, but we're going to see how he does here. I think Quintana will do a good job. I mean, look at how Manaya has done against them. I think he'll do a good job in some respects, but we're going to have to see, obviously, but I'm certainly interested to see how they'll do, but yeah. Get this off. Yeah, this is a new hat. I got to break it in a little bit. Meanwhile, LA's 9-hole hitter, Kike, is getting on base and hitting bombs. I mean, yeah, you really – if you can't stop the 9-hole hitter, then you're in trouble. I mean, this might be just a one-off game for Hernandez because let's keep it real. Hernandez has been trash the entire season. But he might be having like one of those one-off games or those one-off playoff runs. I mean, I talked about this earlier as the playoffs were happening. There are just some guys who can just come out of nowhere during the playoffs and just turn into monsters. Hey, Addy, good to see you. Welcome to the show. But yeah, it's been a heck of a thing. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a crazy playoffs. I mean, we have another – it's going to be close. Again, that's what I think. But, yeah, I won't be in the chat, but I'll be listening. Thanks, Addy. Appreciate it, man. Just thanks for coming in, listening, chill out. Like, again, I'm just here. I'm here for y'all. I'm just here for y'all trying to keep this thing in a good rolling way. But, yeah, got my hat today, so that's cool. But – yeah, I need to get a drink really quick. Hold on. I mean, all right. I mean, it's just been I'm gonna keep the game on in the background as we talk, but we're gonna have to. I really hope that the underdogs can come through, but it's just been it's been a good year for underdogs. It's been a tough year too, but we'll see how all this goes. As Judge Sisson takes a pitch for a ball, it's a 1-1 count, top of the 4th. Man. I do feel a lot better tonight with the lefty Quintana on the mound, but Mets bats need to come alive or it won't matter. Yeah. I mean, I think if you look at the left-handed hitters in that lineup going up against Yamamoto, they're in good shape. Lindor, Nimmo. I mean, of course, Nimmo has been a little hobbled this postseason, but I think that a lot of these guys will do a little better. They just have to get out of that headspace, like get loose and just ball out. That's my opinion. Get loose and ball out. No need to freak out or lose your mind over anything. Just get loose, ball out. I mean, it's time. Like, you've come so far, and you shouldn't just stop now. It's my opinion, but, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I'm going to be in class later, so I won't be able to watch the start of that game, but I definitely will be following along. Whew. All right, 1-2 count. Bottom of the 4th. Boyd versus Birdie. It has been an interesting postseason for John Birdie. I think that he's been doing a really good job filling in at first base. The 34-year-old, and however many seasons he's played, is taking on an opportunity with the Yankees. As Boyd, from the windup, he deals. It's a high and away with a 4-seam fastball that's barely going 91. Oh my gosh. And he strikes out swinging on a 2-2 count. Boyd has been keeping himself in the game, but he has been. I am worried for Boyd because he's got 3 walks as well, so that's going to be a problem. Kike has actually been good in October. It was more one. Kike has actually been good in October. It was more of a more than a one-off. He's 7 for 21. That's a 333 average. Yeah, to be fair, several of those were against Boston. Were when he was in Boston against the Yankees. So that's completely that's completely fair. I mean, he's a Yankee killer. He's a great player that's taken on a lot of great teams in October. He's been good. I think he is a good player, but I'm just talking about the regular season. It has been a down year for Hernandez. He hasn't been great, but he's actually getting into form for the playoffs, which, again, I talked about earlier. There are just some guys who have kind of middling seasons or kind of blah seasons that go into the playoffs and turn up. Look at David Freese. I mean, like, let me just put this David Freese. Yeah, David Freese. I mean, he played for 10 years. He was an MVP of the World Series, but you look at the dude's career numbers, you're not blown away with how good of a player he was. I mean, he wasn't a bad player, but he wasn't a guy who you'd be like, oh, yeah, I want this guy to be leading my first base. Actually, he was actually pretty good. Never mind. But in the playoffs, that guy was insane. No doubt. But there are just some guys where you look at their regular season numbers and you're not wowed. But then you look at their postseason numbers and you can't believe what you're watching. But Kike is doing well this postseason. I'm not going to take that away from him, even though he's kind of a cocky guy. My gosh. But yeah, heck of a day. I mean, please just, I'm begging there's literally no, except for Kyle Manzardo and Steven Kwan, even Brian Rocchio, like nobody else on the Guardians is showing up. Don't get me wrong, I still hate him. Yeah, I mean, I think most reasonable people in baseball would hate a guy like Kike Hernandez. He's being cocky, even though the Dodgers haven't done jack and shit. Not to swear, but you know. But seriously, I want to point this out, like, Guardians players, I'm begging you guys, like, please show up. Steven Kwan and Kyle Manzardo are fighting for their lives out here. Lane Thomas is fighting for his life out here. Rocchio, like, Jose, where the hell are you, bro? Jose Ramirez, where are you? I need you. We need you. The world of baseball needs more feel-good stories. Like, get turns up. It's time. It's the time, man. Seriously. Michael King. That guy was, man, another thing that the one common thing I'm seeming to find in a lot of these playoff runs for certain teams is how much they're wasting some really good performances. Michael King, Bryce Harper, Zach Wheeler, Nick Castellanos, like, along with guys like Tarek Skubal. Like, okay, not Tarek Skubal. The Tigers are playing with house money. They're fine, but there are just certain teams that you watch and are like, dude, you just wasted a guy's in one of the best performances of that guy's career, and you let it go. Like, come on. I feel like it helps Kike a lot that Ohtani bats after him. Pitchers don't give him much thought and just feed fastballs down the middle for him to crush. I mean, yeah, that's definitely going to help you because you want it, because the goal of a guy like Kike, when you look at 9-hole hitters, you're like, dude, I just need to get him out, and then I need to worry about Shohei. So you're kind of like overlooking him a little bit. And the thing is, all these, even the worst athletes or the worst players in baseball are good athletes. I mean, if anyone remembers Chris Davis, that dude was a bum in Baltimore, but he's still a great athlete. I mean, yeah, these guys are all really good. It's just So we underestimate them. Certain pitchers especially will be like, oh, he's not actually that good. I'm going to beat him anyway. So I'll just be lazy and throw fastballs down the middle. I mean, you got to worry sometimes. Like, you got to take every at-bat you have seriously, especially in the postseason. That's when you can't overlook people. Because, like I said, some random player, no matter how blah or mid he was in the regular season, will shoot up into stardom out of nowhere. Yeah. Sandy Alcantara. I have a worry in New York. The Yankees lose. I mean, hold on. Let me see if it's, here we go. Clark Schmidt he's actually pitching pretty well, all things considered. I mean, he's gone 4 innings, only allowed 2 earned runs. It's not terrible, but it's definitely not good. I mean, then again, he hasn't struck out that many people. Matthew Boyd, on the other hand, is holding his own. And fouled off by Jimenez. Oh, my. Oh, boy. But seriously, though, Jose Ramirez, I don't know what the heck happened. I figured he'd be the best player for the Guardians this postseason, but it's been Kwan the entire time. I mean, I get that Stephen Kwan's great, but he has never been in the postseason before, if I'm not mistaken. So it was like, come on, like, play better, Jose. This is your experience. You've done this before. Did you see the lineup tonight? Kike moved in the 5 spot. Pages and Chris Taylor are 8 and 9. Let me just check that out because that's a little strange. That is very strange, actually. I think they're looking for guys to hit Quintana. Yeah, they're looking for guys to hit Quintana, I think. Mookie Betts has hit off Quintana a lot. Enrique Hernandez has gotten him a couple times. Chris Taylor's gotten him a lot. They also don't have Freddie Freeman in the lineup tonight. They have Muncy, Edman, and Hernandez. Muncy playing first base in particular. Will Smith is, again, he's trash, but no one's willing to admit it because he's a Dodgers player. But yeah, looking at the other lineup, I mean, yeah, usually I do lineups right about now, but they have Francisco Alvarez in center field now. Oh, sorry, not Alvarez. Sorry, Harrison Bader in center field. That is a little strange. I don't know. I feel like I don't know what these adjustments are. I don't know what. I really hope this is just Dave Roberts over managing again, but still, this doesn't feel like that situation. Yeah, and Quintana has never had an at-bat versus Shohei, so the first at-bat's going to be very telling. Alonso moved up to 3. That will be interesting, too. I mean, I don't know why you'd move him up to 3, though, because then you're going to have two right-handed hitters face Yamamoto in the first couple of minutes, or in the first 3 at-bats. I mean, Nimmo, I would have preferred Nimmo, but then again, he's gone over 2 versus Yamamoto in his career. Harrison Bader, I think the reason why they have Bader in the lineup is because he's gone 3 for 3 versus Yamamoto. That's interesting. I mean, this is a chess game. This fourth game is going to be a chess game, in my opinion. It's a massive chess game, in my opinion. I mean, it's all about like just trying to outfox the other opponent. Especially the managers. They're just trying to figure each other out. And they're trying to figure out the adjustments. I mean, yeah, they have to get Yamamoto early. That's my opinion. If you get well, remember Yamamoto splits are reversed. That's true. I mean, they have to get on Yamamoto early. If they don't get to Yamamoto early, they're in trouble. I mean, Quintana has been fantastic, though. I mean, you gotta hope he can keep himself under control this postseason. I think he can. It's just I don't know. It's gonna be close though. He's been really good. He actually. Oh, I didn't know that bit. Oh, well, if he does better against, it's probably because of the curveball and the split finger. I bet the reason why he does better against lefties is because he has a great splitter and a great curve that he throws like this. That just like, especially with a split, that can play very well against lefties. I mean, if his splits are reversed, then it would make sense that Vientos and whatchamacallit, Alonso are up that early in that lineup. So if that's the case, like since that's the case, like you say, yeah, Lindor, Vientos, then obviously Pete. Then we have Nimmo. Yamamoto's probably got some really good breaking stuff that he's going to use. I mean, it's just basically going to be curveballs, a lot of curveballs, and a lot of splitters. I think that's going to be what he mainly uses, in my opinion. Curveball, splitter, curveball, splitter. That's my opinion, at least. But yeah. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to just say this, like, enjoy these next few weeks as much as possible, though, because it's like baseball is going to be gone soon. We're going to have basketball back. We're going to have so many sports. We're going to have NHL back, obviously. We're going to have the NFL continuing itself. I mean, enjoy it all. Either way, this is must win for the Mets tonight. They go down 3-1. They are done. Sorry. I mean, you got down 3-1, you're in a big problem. There are only a couple teams that have overcome the 3-1 deficit in the postseason, and only ever one that overcame a 3-0. But you're right. If they go down 3-1, they're in big trouble because then they go back to Chavez Ravine, and that crowd's going to be hopping. Yeah, I get desperate. Your season's on the line tonight if you're the Mets. I mean, one wrong move, it's all over. One wrong move, it is all over. I mean, what I'll say to them is this, like, you've come very far this season. You've beaten so many great teams. You have to tie it up here at least. And I'd recommend just trying to, like, get the next couple games under your belt. If you can do that, you're in good shape. But, hey, like, it's been a great season for the Mets. But like I said, like, they're not playing with house money. Like the Tigers, for example, like, their whole plan this season, they were punting to 2025. They were like, okay, listen, we're probably not going to be great this season. So let's buy up a couple mid-tier free agents and let's get ready to sell at the trade deadline. Like, oh, yeah, this team will call us. These teams will call us. So for like some of our mid-tier rotation pieces and solid players, and they'll be like, okay, let's do that. And let's see if we can like slowly like start bringing up the younger players like Acuna and a bunch of other guys. And once that happens, then we can be ready for 2025. The problem is that didn't end up being the case. Manaea, Severino, Iglesias, a bunch of all these incredible players ended up being super good and ended up having career years. Martinez had a career year as well. I mean, these are years where you're like, once they start doing that, it's like, okay, we got to keep them around and we got to go do something to the deadline that can support these guys. And now they're in the NLCS. The problem is if they don't take a shot at the big one this year, then they don't have a plan next year because they didn't get to make those trades this offseason. So basically, they're kind of in a position of, oh, yeah, what do we do now? Do we continue with the plan where we start bringing up the young guys? Or do we try and take another shot with the guys that we currently have? I mean, I would never recommend that. I'm keeping it real. They can't do that. What the heck is going on? Please don't. Okay, thank God. All right. Yeah, I mean, the Mets, this isn't just this season, it's the next season and the next season for them, in my opinion. This was supposed to be a year where they could have changed it all because a lot of these guys have player options or team options or something else. They might leave, they might stay. But since Severino, Iglesias, Manaea have all had career years, like, you might not be able to retain these guys. They might be commanding a contract that's bigger. And besides, a lot of them are trying to – the Mets are another suitor for Soto. So it's like it's very strange. Like they're going into an offseason with a lot of uncertainty because they don't know if they're going to continue with the young people, the prospects plan, or if they're going to just go for something a bit more conservative. But yeah, is my hat on correctly? LA has Flaherty listed for tomorrow already. Already? Wow. I mean, yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. I mean, hi, Chardal. I mean, they have LA. They have him listed tomorrow. That's crazy. I'm doing well, Chardal. I'm doing well. I mean, like, you have Flaherty listed for tomorrow. They're serious. Trying to hold on. I wonder if the no, we're still at ads, but yeah. But they need. But you're right. The Mets need this tonight. Exactly. If they don't win it tonight, then they are in a hole. I mean, how many teams do you know that have come back from a 3-1 deficit? I mean, there have been a couple, especially the Panthers versus the Bruins. But seriously, like, there are very few teams that can come back from a 3-1 deficit and end up winning. I mean, you can take a shot at it, but it's definitely something that I would not recommend this. Like, you have to keep it 2-2. That's my opinion. If they are going to win or keep it in their control. My mom, that's cool, Chardal. That's cool. Fair enough. I mean, that's cool. I got one of these today, so that's cool. Yeah. But yeah, we're looking at the Mets are looking at an uphill climb. They're looking at a massive uphill climb. I mean, like, yeah, I hope for the Mets because I said this at the start of this playoff run. I said this, like, listen, not at the start of the playoff run, but I said at the start of the AL, of the DS and all these other series, I said, listen, if I'm wrong about the Phillies prediction, I won't be upset. That's what I always said. Like, if I'm wrong about the Phillies prediction, I won't be upset. It's fine. Like, I'm cool with being wrong about that. You know what I mean? I'm cool with being wrong about these things, you know? Fake fan, whatever. Fake fan. All right. We got a fake fan here, gentlemen. Fake fan. I mean, yeah. Not a real fan. Not a real fan. Yeah, that's not a real fan. Whatever. Anyway. Whatever, man. Like, I mean, I really mean this when I say it. Like, having the Dodgers and the Yankees in the World Series would be so awful. Yeah, big fake fan right here. That's a massive fake fan. I mean, like, I say this again and again, like, nobody's going to enjoy Aaron Judge versus Shohei Ohtani in the World Series. All the casuals love that. All the casuals love, like, superstars rather than teams. And that's crap. I mean, like, keep it real. Like, what's so damn exciting about two superstars? Other than that, there's nothing exciting. Keep it real. You're picking between two teams that are the evil empires of baseball. And the Dodgers aren't even an evil empire. Dodgers versus Yankees in the World Series is horrible for baseball. It's only proof to everybody in baseball that the system is rigged. That it's all about the money. It's not really about anything else other than that. I mean, the Mets are definitely a money team, yeah. But keep it real. There's nothing fun about a money World Series, man. Especially a team that's always whined and complained for the past few years. And I'm talking about both of them. Mets win tonight. I actually feel good. Good. I think that they will fare better against Flaherty the second time around, but all hinges on tonight. Yeah. I think you're right, Johnny. It all depends on that. I mean, keep it real though. Like it really does hinge on tonight. It's all about tonight. It's all about who. It's all about tonight. And honestly, like whoever, I really don't want to hear from anybody that says, "Oh yeah, the Yankees and the Dodgers should be in the World Series." That's just a horrible, horrible one. And no, they never justify it either. It's always, "Oh yeah, it's Judge and Ohtani." It's never anything meaningful. There's no narrative. There's no talk of team. There's only the giant. It's only like, "Oh yeah, this is the best freaking team in the world. This team's the best on paper. Let's put them up against each other." Then go watch highlights of the regular season then. There's no point in having it in the playoffs or in a World Series. It's just so damn boring. Whatever, man. Like anybody in this chat except for like Ramley, Benji, and all these other like Dodgers fans and other people who come into this, like you're a fake fan. You're a fake fan. You don't support the Giants. I know that for sure. You do not support the Giants. Just a troll looking for attention. Like, that's just some disgraceful stuff, man. Like, it only proves to me that the MLB is becoming like the NFL, where it's all about matchups and money and the stardom and everything else. And that's so boring. That's so boring. That's just such a, yeah. No, whatever, man. Yeah, that's just like such a casual thing to do. Yeah, it's just such a I really don't care what anyone says about baseball in October. Like what makes it fun is the chaos. Last year in the World Series, the Diamondbacks and the Rangers, that's awesome. That's two teams that succeeded through so much adversity. They beat some damn good teams. They beat the Rays, which were a great team. They beat the Rangers. The Rangers. They beat the Tampa Bay Rays, great team. They beat the Orioles, up and coming great team. They beat the Astros, the evil empire of the AL. Then on the other side, you have the Diamondbacks. They beat a really good Brewers team. They beat a really good Dodgers team, and then they oust the Phillies from their throne. That, to me, is impressive. I like that in a World Series. But, yeah, that's just some of the most cringe stuff I've ever heard, man. That's so damn boring. Like, all these other World Series, when I see Yankees, Dodgers in a World Series line, it's like, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch that. Like, I don't want to watch the Dodgers go to the World Series. I don't want to watch the Yankees go to the World Series. I'd rather watch Boston go to the World Series. I'd rather watch the Orioles go to the World Series because a lot of those teams actually have a reason to be there. They have culture. They have narrative. They have something interesting about those teams. I'm talking about this in my paper that I'm writing about October baseball. What makes a lot of these stories so interesting is the David versus Goliath stuff. That's just such a whatever, though. Like, if you really think casually, like it's okay to have a World Series like that where it's just about the money, good for you then. But it's like, that's not an iconic World Series. It's a World Series. It's just this. It's just this. It's all about money. It's all about stars. I mean, the best World Series that I think I ever saw was between two teams that did not have either of those things, money or stars, except one team did have money. They're known as a big market team. The 2014 World Series, in my opinion, is one of the best World Series of all time. Two wildcard teams, overlooked teams, made it all the way to the World Series and managed to like duke it out for 7 games. That's an incredible World Series that has so much intrigue. I mean, keep it real. There's nothing, and I mean nothing interesting about just two money teams duking it out. It's just, if you want to do that, then you can go for pay-per-view. But seriously, though, it's such a I would honestly recommend just not responding to people who say stuff like this because it's just such a troll thing to do, if I'm being honest. But it's honestly whatever. Like, whatever. Like, this is how I know that certain people who, like, say certain stuff like that, like, don't really get it. Like, the idea of having those two teams in a World Series matchup against each other, it's against what baseball is all about in October. The idea that any team can win, the idea that any team can make it to a World Series and etch their name in history forever. I mean, I love that. Who doesn't want that? I want to see something special happen. Last year, the Rangers winning, breaking their legacy of failure, that is incredible. I was so impressed with all that. I'm not going to be impressed when the Yankees win the World Series. That's what they're supposed to do. I'm not going to be impressed if the Dodgers win the World Series because I hate the Dodgers. Yeah, it's whatever, though. Don't talk to him. Like, don't talk to him. It's whatever. Don't talk to him. Like, he's a troll. He's a dude just trying to cause chaos. He's not a real Bay Area sports fan. He's not a real Bay Area sports fan. I'm willing to bet he didn't even go to the Sharks game. I'm willing to bet he doesn't go to Warriors games. I'm willing to bet he doesn't even go to Giants games. It's whatever. But yeah, I mean, like, I say this all the time. Like, it's about narrative. It's about stories. That's October. October is about something interesting happening because anytime in the regular series, in the regular season, you'll probably see Los Angeles beat the Padres 10 times, like 9 times out of 10. You'll see the Diamondbacks get beat by the Dodgers 9 times out of 10. You'll see the Yankees beat up on their rivals like the Twins and the Orioles and the Boston Red Sox. You'll see them battle. But in the playoffs, that's all out the window. Who cares about the regular season? Because everything goes back down to zero in the regular season. Yeah, the thing is, though, that's not chaos. It's not chaos. That's literally the definition of order and holding up the establishment. Saying that the Yankees and the Dodgers, the two most powerful giants in baseball, are going to make it back to the World Series, that's just holding up the establishment. That's not chaos. That's the epitome of just licking the boot. But yeah, whatever. Like, who cares? Like, I really like, we're looking at an opportunity, in my opinion, for baseball to prove that it's not a sport that's just about the money. Yeah, anybody in this chat, don't call him that. Don't call him that or he's going to report you. So just don't do that. Just don't do that. Adi, don't say anything. Johnny, don't say anything. I mean, again, like, you're not really a fan of this team or that team or this team at all if you really think Los Angeles is going to win the World Series or if the Yankees are. Yeah. He's just a spam guy who really just begs for attention. It's whatever. Yeah, it's all right, Adi. Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's pretty clear, Chardall. You clearly didn't get enough of it from your parents. It's whatever, though. Like, at the end of the day, this is sports. And I can leave this all behind and, like, go on with my life, and it's fine. But it's whatever, really. It really is whatever. At the end of the day, like, I love these teams. I love this team. I love that team. I love all these teams with all my heart. I could never support another team because at the end of the day, I love these guys. But yeah, it's whatever. The worst thing about an LA NY World Series would be that I would really have to root for the Yankees. And I really don't want to root for the Yankees. I mean, yeah. The Yankees, we don't want to release the locusts of baseball, the Yankees fans, back onto baseball. Like, who wants that? Like, I really did enjoy watching the Boston Red Sox beat the Yankees all those years. I enjoyed watching Houston beat them, even though Houston were cheaters. Like, I don't want to root for the Yankees. I want to root for a team that I actually have some connection to. Because when I look at the Mets, I look at the Guardians, I see my team in that team. I see a team that I can relate to in a lot of ways. The personalities on that team, the guys on that team, I can look at them and say, well, that's a good group of guys. When I look at the Dodgers and the Yankees, it's so damn soulless. It's just such a soulless thing. Like, that's why this is another reason why I think people don't watch baseball as much as they used to. Baseball is probably the least watched sport of basketball, football, and maybe even hockey. And the reason for that is very simple, because people have gotten tired of the parody of like, oh yeah, only the big teams make it to the World Series. Only the Astros, only the Red Sox, only the LA Dodgers, only these teams make the World Series. Like, why would anybody want to continuously watch the parody of that? Yeah. And again, like, if you really do enjoy like the betrayal or like anything else like that, like, it really just proves to me that you're not a real fan. You're not a real fan. Like, it just proves to me like that people don't really watch baseball to watch baseball. They watch it to watch the stars of baseball. That's all. I mean, like, the reason why people don't watch baseball as religiously or see it as a pastime anymore. It's because people have gotten so tired of the parody. It's boring. Who wants to keep watching this? I want to watch something interesting. I want to watch something real. And what's the most real thing that I've ever seen was the Rangers winning the World Series last year with Bochy, Seager, Adolis Garcia. Adolis Garcia was a waiver cast off. No one cared about him. Seager got abandoned by Los Angeles. Wyatt Langford and Evan Carter was an incredible prospect that called up. Lowe, Jung, and a lot of these other guys, like, they proved why we should give teams like that more respect. And yes, the Rangers are big spenders, but they had been long cursed to a legacy of failure. Adi, I'm kind of I don't know how to do that, actually. I'm keeping it real, Adi. I don't know how to invite people on. Actually, wait, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Let me just yeah, I don't care. Let me see, Adi. Here you go, Adi. Come on. I mean, I'm going to be gone in like 8 minutes, but, you might as well come on. Let's see if, like, anyone's in the waiting room or whatever. Again, I'm learning how to do this still, so, All right. Adi, how you doing, man?
What's up? How are you?
Doing well, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, doing all right as well. And I'd like to add to your point. These big market teams, if they both make the World Series, you're not going to see a whole lot of game management. You're not going to see coaching. You're just going to see superstars against superstars. Shohei's up in 9 batters. Judge is up in 5 batters, side-by-side comparisons. It's not going to be very fun outside of just the casual fans like the one in the chat and then Yankees and Dodgers fans.
No, pretty much. I mean, I really do want to emphasize this. Like last year, the 2 teams that made it to the World Series, okay, listen, the Rangers are big spenders, but it's like when I looked at that team, like, did anyone really give them a shot to make it to the World Series? The Texas
No, and they didn't exactly have like a Harper, a Judge, an Ohtani. They had Adolis, but he's He's Adolis. I mean, he's not like them, and they had Langford, but they didn't scare anyone in the playoffs until they made it all the way, and it was like, oh shit, what just happened?
No, exactly. I mean, and then you look at the other side of that bracket. You look at like the Diamondbacks and like that team. The reason why I picked them this year was like I really appreciated how they did it, and like looking at that team, no one like even like with the Rangers, they had an outside shot because you looked at that team, you thought, oh yeah, they have some good players that can really do well in the playoffs. But you looked at the Diamondbacks and were like, no way they beat Los Angeles, no way they beat Philly, and they did. And like there's more to manage in those games. There's more at stake because like when you look at like if you looked at an example of like a Yankees Dodgers World Series, it's like you said, it's just the stars because it's basically like throwing haymakers at each other. There's not really any game managing being done. There's not really any like meaningful changes happening in the game, like bullpen decisions or like crazy moments. It's more or less just, oh yeah, Judge Ohtani, watch it.
Exactly. Yeah. And then speaking on the Diamondbacks, I kind of feel like their year was just awkward. I mean, they kind of started off the year with the whole Montgomery thing. Like we went through with Snell, they kind of did that with Montgomery. Last year, they kind of picked it up towards the end. They went to playoffs with like a little bit of momentum, especially after they beat who they play in the wild card.
The Brewers.
The Brewers, right? Okay, so they kind of had a little bit of momentum going against the Dodgers, and unlike the Padres, they actually like finished them off.
Yeah.
But this year, I feel like it was kind of just awkward for them. They were a good team, but they weren't. Like last year, you could be scared of their pitching, but this year, Gallen had injuries. Their entire pitching staff kind of had injuries across the board, and they couldn't really like settle in or get into a rhythm.
Yeah, I mean, if I look at that. Yeah, if I was going to look at that pitching staff, like you said, I mean, Rodriguez was out for like 5 months of the year, I think. Yeah. Then you look at Merrill Kelly, he had a shoulder injury. And then you look at Gallen, obviously, like you said, he was injured for a while. The only consistent starter was like Brandon Pfaadt. And I think that even he has his struggles at times. But like, I looked at that team and I was like, I thought it could do something. It's just really about like putting it all together. But I really liked that team because I thought it could do well, but I just really wanted to go back to like what we said about Yankees Dodgers and the concept of them being in the World Series, because that concept horrifies me in my opinion, because I'm in college right now and I'm writing a paper about October baseball.
Oh, yeah, I was listening to that. Yeah.
So the thing is, there are two types of World Series teams that win. You have your Giants or your underdogs. And you can't really root for the Giant. It's unless you're a fan of that team. It's very difficult to. But then you look at the underdog and you're like, oh yeah, I can root for that team. I can relate to that team. You know, it's a cool team. Like, especially like when you look at the Mets and the Guardians, you think, oh yeah, like Jose Ramirez, Stephen Kwan, Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso. Obviously, again, I think New York is like the Rangers in this equation because they are actually like a huge team because a lot of money. Stephen Cohen is obviously the hedge fund guy who spends so much money. But I really do like seeing a team of underdogs make it to the World Series and do it. That's why 2019 World Series is one of my favorite World Series ever, because you have the Houston Astros, the obvious evil lord, and then you look at like the Nationals. They were the big story that year. And honestly, like I want to see something like that. I want to see something more like that, you know?
And then to go into the whole Yankees and Dodgers thing, baseball doesn't have salary cap for the reason that you don't have to spend money to win if you have a good coaching staff, if you make good decisions as the game goes on.
Yeah.
And there's no halftime for that reason. Adjustments are supposed to be made as the game is going. You don't get a break to go step aside and figure out what you're going to do. And that's kind of all thrown out the window if the best teams in baseball make it to the World Series. It's just, as you said, haymaker after haymaker, who can knock the other person out first.
Yeah, it's pretty much that. It's like, it's basically just two heavyweight boxers. I mean, except with heavyweight boxers, even then there's a little more intrigue because it's like, you know, there's actual stakes. But
Yeah.
when you look at like the Yankees and the Dodgers, I mean, even then, like the pitching is going to be horrible if you have that series. I mean, like the Dodgers have had some good pitching from Flaherty, who's a very big example, and then with like you look at the Yankees and see Rodon. But other than guys like that, and Garrett Cole as well, I mean, like the pitching staffs are wild cards. The bullpens, except the Dodgers bullpen is actually pretty good, but it's just so like it's just stars though.
I know.
It's not really like anything like meaningful or real. Like when I was watching the World Series and the Giants win, it was like, oh yeah, I was thinking, okay, what's Boch gonna do here? I wasn't thinking,
Yep.
yeah, I wasn't thinking about, oh yeah, like we gotta do this, or like a star's gotta do something, or we're like, okay, because when you look at the Dodgers and the Yankees, this is what I say, like with the Yankees, they will go as far as Aaron Judge and Juan Soto take them. That's my opinion. And then you look at the Dodgers and you say, oh, yeah, they're going to go as far as Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Shohei Ohtani take them.
Yep.
When I looked at the Giants back during those days, or I look at like the Diamondbacks last year or the Rangers last year, it's like, oh, yeah, like you don't really have somebody who's going to take you there. You have somebody, you have to have the team work together.
Exactly. And then you mentioned the boxes earlier. Like it's different when it's a one-on-one, when you're your own team. And it's a different when you have an entire team, but you're just focused on 2 or 3 guys the entire time, to where if they're not batting, if they're not pitching, you don't really care about the game. You're really only watching for once every 3 innings or 2 innings when these guys show up to the plate, and you can watch them for their 2-minute at bat and then go back to doing whatever else you were doing.
No, exactly. I mean, I'm going to ask this to like casual Yankees fans and like random like fans like that who just watch baseball. Like, do you even know who Gleyber Torres is?
Exactly. Yeah. No clue.
I mean, like he's literally batting first in the order. And I'm willing to bet like half of them don't know who he is. I'm willing to bet none of them know who Max Muncy is. I'm willing to bet half of them don't even know who Teoscar Hernandez is. And it's like,
because they're so focused on
stars.
Ohtani, maybe Betts, Freeman. They really don't care about the rest of the lineup. They don't care about who's batting 6th, who's batting 7th. It's just as soon as that top 3 is over, okay, let's go do whatever else we were doing before.
Right, exactly. I mean, like, then you like that because I say this all the time. Like, in order to enjoy baseball the way like myself, you, Adi, and how a lot of all these other guys do, it's like you actually have to understand the lineups, the game, the pitching, lefty, righty, righty, lefty. Like you have to understand these things. And I'm willing to bet a lot of people who were talking today really don't understand any of that stuff. They don't understand the nuances of baseball and how it's not just like throw your star out there. Hope this isn't like basketball where you can give the ball to your star and be like, okay, you go do your thing. Like you can't give him the go ahead. You can't give these guys the go ahead. It's like, it's strategic. It's like very like niche. You got to understand what's going on. And a lot of like, again, I'm not knocking casual fans for enjoying the game because I think more people enjoy this game, the better it is for the sport. But it's also like, if more people understood baseball as it's supposed to be, then we would have smarter people talking about it instead of just people banging their heads against the ground. Like, you know, like how you and I are talking about it and the nuance of it.
Yep. And then, I mean, all you're going to see is Instagram posts of Ohtani's out. You're going to see 5 Instagram posts about Ohtani, and then Will Smith is going to get an RBI double or something to tie up the game. You'll see maybe 1 post about that, and then 5 more about Ohtani's reaction, Judge's reaction, and they're just going to push that the entire time.
It really that's basically going to be it. It's going to be the social media World Series. I mean, like. Again, like another thing, like do any casual fans know who Will Smith is? And if they're immediately going to think, oh yeah, that's the guy that slapped the dude on stage. Exactly. That's going to be their thought. That's going to be their first thought. I guarantee it. Do they know who, again, Teoscar Hernandez has like had a really good year, like a really good year. And I'm willing to bet not a single casual Dodgers fan knows who that dude is.
Because he doesn't get talked about because nobody really cares about what he does when he's on Ohtani's team. They care more about how Ohtani reacted when a Teoscar hit a home run.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, I feel a little bad in that way for like, especially since Teo is a really good player. Like, I think he's great. And then you look at all the other players on that team that are actually pretty good. You're like, wow, like that's a good team of guys. But it's like, you're really thinking to yourself, like, those guys are never going to get any credit if we go to the World. If the Dodgers and the Yankees go to the World Series, they're not going to get a single bit of credit. And I want to say this too.
Dodgers team.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, like, and also for casual Yankees fans, for casual Dodgers fans, do you even know who Anthony Volpe is? Seriously? Like, I want to say this about Anthony Volpe. He's had an off year. First half, he was good. Second half, he's been a little off. But he's been really good. Like, if I was going to get a young shortstop, Anthony Volpe might be one of the guys who I would look at. But
I think his defense kind of went down this year, though, compared to last year. I was kind of surprised that he was a Gold Glove candidate and Lindor wasn't.
Yeah,
I was really surprised about that. I was surprised that Soto made it and Lindor didn't. I know they're two different positions, but really,
Soto made Gold Glove.
Yes, he's one of the finalists.
Soto made Gold Glove.
Seriously, Soto's one of the finalists. I'm not joking.
Dude, skaters and everybody else has been talking about this too. Like, he's not a good defender. So
no, he's not.
I'm not going to act like he is. I think he's a great player, but he's not a good defender.
Yep, that's what I was thinking. I was like, just because you're a good hitter doesn't mean you're exactly a Gold Glove finalist. Like, what has he really done on defense?
I mean, I've seen a couple of great outfield throws that he's made.
Throws, yes,
but that's not Gold Glove.
Yeah, I mean, no, not at all.
I mean, again, all of these guys are like, they're just, it's going to be about 5 people in the World Series. It's going to be about Shohei, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, sorry, not Shohei Ohtani, Soto, and Judge. Those are the 5 guys that will be the focus of that World Series. It's not going to be about, oh yeah, this is going to be a great move by Dave Roberts, even though he doesn't make any great moves.
He really doesn't, yeah. It's going to be it's going to be stormed over by Ohtani's appearance and what he did. Because nobody's really going to, outside of people that are really paying attention to the game, no one's going to really care about who Roberts brought in against Judge. They're just going to care about the fact that Judge hit a home run.
Yeah, and even then, like, no, I wonder how that guy has never been fired. Like, seriously.
I know.
He's so bad at managing the game.
The whole thing with Machado, too, what was that? Really,
no,
what was
it? It was so bad. Like, it was such a bad thing. Like, I don't even know what the hell happened there. Like, it's just it was the Padres and the Dodgers, to be fair. But, you know.
Yeah, but that was weird. Like, he threw the ball at you with intent. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. It's whatever.
As an MLB player, if he really did, it would have went into the dugout. It wouldn't have just hit off the thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but yeah, thanks, Adi, for having this conversation.
Yeah. No, thanks for having me on. I know we're kind of
obviously. Thank you, Adi. Appreciate it, man. All right. You have a good day. Have a good one. Yeah. All right. See you, man. All right. Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow, man. Take care.
Yeah, see you. All right, y'all. I mean, I think this is going to be it for me after Adi. I mean, had a good conversation with him. Had a good, just, again, baseball is alive. It's a great sport, and I think everybody should watch it. That's one of the things that I've been talking about a lot in the paper is that I want people to watch the sport. It's fun. So just do that and enjoy October, okay? Football is going to be continuing. NHL and NBA are back. Baseball in October is one of the best times of life. Just enjoy it, okay? So that's all I got to say to y'all. All right. Thank you, guys. It's good seeing you guys. Thank you for being around. Thank you for just enjoying it all. And also to all the casual fans out there, to all the people who really just watch baseball to just watch it for the stars, do your thing, man. But you won't be enjoying it like the way we are. So thank you, guys. Thank you to Adi. Thank you to Johnny. Thank you to all the guys who are here, except for one of them. Thank you, Glenn and Eric, for coming along. But yeah, good seeing you guys. It's been a blast. See ya.
You've been watching the Northern California Sports and Entertainment Network, a Northern Lights Entertainment broadcasting station.